Hi everyone, today I'm going to be profiling a Marincess Frog Decklist. I have not played a control deck in a while, which I've missed. Control decks are decks that in the past I used to play almost exclusively, so I thought I would see how this one goes. Now this one's going to still need a bit more testing. I'm going to take it to locals at some point in the future, so this is just my initial list, and I will see how it goes with some further testing. So there's a couple of things in the extra deck that I'm not super happy with, but we're going to have to change it up. So to start off, we've got the Marincess Monsters, so 3 blue Tang. This is obviously the best one. It kind of does everything. Playing 3 Pascalis. Pascalis plus blue Tang is really good, and then 3 Seahorse as the main ones, and I'm playing 1 Mandarin. So for the Marincess Monsters, these are the only ones that we're playing. This deck is, for those who don't know, it's a pretty good 1-card combo deck. Seahorse on its own is a full combo, Blue Tang on its own is a full combo, and then Blue Tang plus Seahorse is a little bit better, or Pascalis plus Seahorse is a little bit better, plus the Blue Tang's better, or the Mandarin. So if you can get 2 of these in combination, if you need at least 1 of these, depending, is kind of the ceiling. Now the ceiling in terms of the combo is not very high because this is predominantly a control deck, but these are the only ones you need, and of course we'll be playing Signet Mining to help see these more consistently. And I'm playing a frog engine as well, so I'm playing 3 Swap Frog, 2 Dupe Frog, and 2 Ronin Totem. So this is an engine I've been looking forward to playing for a while. This is the first deck I've played this in. I haven't played any other engines involving the frogs, and Totally Awesome, so I'm looking forward to seeing how this goes. In testing, if you have Swap Frog alongside any of your 1-card combos, you can end with the Totally Awesome as well, because the benefit of the Marincess cards is if you're able to recycle the whole engine, which gives you plenty of fodder. So if you see Swap Frog plus any of your starters, you can end the combo with enough materials to put Swap Frog on the field a couple of times, which sets you up for a Totally Awesome as well, which just really helps with the generating of resources. So one thing this deck does really well, it's obviously very similar to Salamangreat in that it recurs its resources very well. The resource game is really good. Playing 3 Signet Mining, obviously this searches all of the Marincess monsters. Playing 3 Pot of Desires, because we are playing a lot of 3-ofs, a couple of 2-ofs in the frogs, but Pot of Desires is never really an issue. And I'm playing 1 Battle Ocean. Battle Ocean comes up when you get the full combo, because you're able to end on a towers essentially, and the only way it can be beaten is by battle, and we have ways around that as well. So yeah, so the end goal is a towers monster using one of either a 1-card or 2-card combo, and then the rest of the cards in our hand are trap cards for stopping the opponent. Speaking of, the rest of the deck is traps. At this stage, I'm not really playing any hand traps, simply because the trap cards we're playing kind of do the job really well, and in those instances where we're going second, we're playing the trap cards that going second are impactful as well. There's obviously plenty of trap cards that aren't very impactful going second, but the ones that we're playing typically are. We're playing, first of all, the in-theme Marincess Wave. This is essentially an infinite impermanence. We can activate it from the hand if we control a Marincess Link 3, but also this card makes all face-up monsters we control currently, makes them unaffected by your opponent's card effects till the end of the turn. So if we can end with Wave as one of our disruptions, it makes our end board completely unaffected. So even if we don't go the full combo, which ends us on a towers, Marincess Wave will make our monsters all towers essentially anyway. We then have Solemn Strike. Solemn Strike is just a very strong trap card. Obviously the fact that there's a counter trap is really good because it's very hard for our opponent to respond to that. And pairing Solemn Strike with something like a Torrential Tribute is very board breaking. We're also playing a few 2-ofs. Playing 2 Paleozoic Dynamicious. Obviously, it's a Paleozoic card, which means it can recur itself, and that can set us up for a Toad play, though that's not really why we're playing it. We're playing it just because it's a really good utility trap card, just to banish a card in the field. We're also playing 2 Ice Dragon's Prison, another card that can just be very devastating to our opponent's resources. So then these, in combination with something like Solemn Strike or Marincess Wave, just ensures that those plays go through. The last couple of cards, we're playing 2 copies of White Howling. This is one of those cards that's really good going first, but going second is not as good. So if you set 5 going second, one of them being White Howling, it's not going to be nearly as impactful as it would be going first. It's essentially a one-sided Imperial Order with a few extra restrictions. I have considered maybe not playing this, but just because we have the capabilities to play it, we're just going to give it a go. It could very well just be the Imperial Order plus one other trap card, and it'll probably have the same result. The only benefit of White Howling is that we are playing 1 trap trick. I like this ratio. I don't mind playing 2 obs with trap cards and then 1 trap trick, because it makes us essentially so we're playing 3 of all of these, a 4th copy of Torrential and a 4th copy of Marincess Wave. But essentially it makes all of these 3 obs, which I really like with trap trick and the way that I like to do ratios with trap decks. So siding, if I was siding, the White Howlings would be one of the first things to be sided out, simply because if we were going to be going second, we knew we were going to go second, White Howling is not something that we really want to be left with. For the extra deck, this is where playtesting is going to really help me determine what is important and what is not. To start off with, we're playing 2 Marincess Marbled Rock. At this stage, I'm not playing a Marincess Link 4. They're okay. The Barrier Reef one lets you draw a card every standby phase, which is okay. It would be good if we were playing something like Hand Traps for that effect to be really useful. Obviously, drawing a card is really good, but I kind of like the utility of Marbled Rock. Now, both versions of our combo, the 1-card version or the 2-card version, is going to end us with Marbled Rock. Obviously, the 2-card version makes it unaffected, but of course, as I mentioned, if we have Marincess Wave, it won't be unaffected. It'll become unaffected eventually anyway. But I like that Marble Rock gives you a lot of recursion. So once per turn, we can target a Marincess card in our graveyard and add it back to our hand. And if Marble Rock lives, which it being a towers means it has a very good chance of living, we can get that effect off again on the next turn without needing to link climb back into Marbled Rock. It then has battle protection, which is really the only thing it needs protection from, because it's going to be a towers. So when an opponent's monster declares an attack, we can send a Marincess monster from hand to the graveyard, and for that battle, monsters cannot be destroyed by battle, and we take no battle damage. So we can use that effect multiple times to save ourselves if we have multiple Marincess monsters, but the other way of saving it is if we do, and this is obviously if we go the full combo version, where we end with, where we have the Battle Ocean on the field as well, just means that Marincess Marble Rock is going to have a lot of attack points, making battle destruction that much harder. So the plan is to keep Marble Rock on the field and hopefully keep it there for the next turn, and then recur our resources and go in for an OTK on the turn 3. We're then playing Marincess Coral Anemone, also at 2. We're playing 1 Crystal Heart. This card is necessary to make our monster unaffected by card effects if we have Crystal Heart alongside the field spell. Playing 2 of the Blue Slug. All of these cards, if you know what they do, they just pretty much help recur resources a lot. The Sea Angel adds a Marincess spell trap from deck to hand, which obviously, not a spell trap, just a spell, which adds us the field spell, similar to Balinks for Salamangreats. They are the Marincess Link monsters that we're playing, and the rest of the cards, we'll go into the rest of the extra deck now. Playing 1 Avramax, this should be an access code talker. As I mentioned in a previous video, I sold mine because the price was just silly, and obviously if I had access code talker, this is definitely what you would be playing, because access code talker just wins that much easier. But I'm playing Avramax. I was very tempted at one point to play the Rasta Liger. I know that there's plenty of memes about it, but I think Avramax is just all around better. Yes, it doesn't have the attack gain effect that access code or Rasta Liger have, but Avramax is just a lot harder to out. So we're playing Avramax as our big link 4, and then similar to what you'd see in a Salamangreat deck, the typical Cybers turn 3 win button package. So update Gemma, Splash Mage, transcode into Avramax, which obviously this should be an access code. So if you're playing this deck, access code is the one to have. But it's pretty self-explanatory. It's been around for a while. Playing 2 totally awesome. We can definitely make 2 not on turn 1, but we can definitely make up a second. We can get 1 turn 1 pretty easily, and then get a second on the next turn if we need it. And the last card I'm playing is Bahamut Shark. This is the card that I'm not too sure about. I think this could very well just be one of the Marincess Link 4s if I do want to run it. It could also be something like the Water Charmer Link Monster. There's just not too many. There's not that many situations where I'm ending on 2 level 4s, or where I can pull off 2 level 4s. If I was playing more extenders, and typically you could play some. There's, for example, the Water Tenyi monster. That would help get into Bahamut Shark a lot easier, because combos, you can end combos with Pascalis and then the Tenyi monster if you have it, which would get you Bahamut Shark. So at the moment, I don't think I'm playing the right build for a Bahamut Shark. So that could definitely be a card that is cuttable. But with playtesting, we will have to find out, especially because getting access to Swap Frog, maybe if I wasn't playing the Frogs and playing just more water level 4 extenders like Aqua Spirit as well, then I could definitely fit in Bahamut Shark. But at this point, I think we can already get into the Frogs fairly easily. They're totally awesome with the Frogs that we're playing. So Bahamut Shark is probably a cuttable card. But what I'll do now is go into some test hands just to show you what the deck is capable of doing. Okay, so we'll do our first test hand. Now, as far as test hands and combos go, this deck really only has a couple of combos. It's very simplistic in its play style. So I won't necessarily play through every test hand because we'll either have a combo or we won't. But for our first hand, we've got Wave, Dupe Frog, Ice Dragon's Prison, Pascalis, and the second Dupe Frog. So this hand is terrible, to say the least. What we will do with this is we'll normal summon the Pascalis. We're not going to be able to use its effect because we have no other Marincess cards in our hand. We can link it off for Blue Slug. Blue Slug has an effect to target a Marincess monster in your graveyard. Add it to your hand. We're not going to use that effect. We're going to leave Pascalis in the graveyard just because it does give us a little bit of recursion on the next turn if we draw into a Marincess monster, but this would just be setting Wave and the Ice Dragon's Prison. Obviously the 2 Dupe Frogs are useless. We're probably going to die through this though, let's be real. So this is not going to be very good. We can obviously use the Wave on our opponent's turn. Sorry, we need to control a link through a high to activate it from hand, so we have to set it. The Ice Dragon's Prison can maybe do something depending on what we're playing against. But hypothetically, going into, let's assume that our board does get wiped. We don't lose, and we're definitely losing now because we're not going to have anything very playable. Because drawing into that second Ice Dragon's Prison is not very good. That's the first test hand. Really not impressive at all, and not really showing off anything that the deck is able to do. Alright, let's do a second one. We have a Trap Trick, a Torrential Tribute, a Seahorse, a Pascalis, and a Ronin Totem. So we can do a little bit more with this one. We will start by normal summoning Pascalis, and we can use its effect to bring out the Seahorse. Going to link off the Seahorse for the Blue Slug, and we'll use the Blue Slug to add back the Seahorse. The Seahorse can be special to a zone a Marincess monster points to, so we'll do that. And we'll link it off again, this time for the Sea Angel. The Sea Angel will get its effect to add a Marincess spell, which of course is the field spell. Next, we can link to again. And this time I'm going to go into the anemone. The anemone is going to activate its effect, and it's going to revive a water monster with 1500 or less attack. And then we can activate the field spell, link off the Pascalis and the Seahorse for the Crystal Heart. And then we can go Crystal Heart plus Coral Anemone into the Marbled Rock. Now also we can trigger Battle Ocean on the link summon here. We've got two channelings. We'll have Battle Ocean and we'll have an enemy. We can equip Marincess Link Monsters. Now we're just going to do two. We'll attach Blue Slug and Coral Anemone. We're going to add back the Seahorse using the Anemone's effect. Yeah. And just need to decide if we're going to use Marbled Rock to add back the Pascalis, because in the graveyard Pascalis can be good on the next turn to banish it and add a Marincess spell trap back from the graveyard, which at the moment we don't have, but we also have Trap Trick, so that could be something we do. I think we will Marbled Rock add back Pascalis, because at the very least Pascalis can be a card that we can use to prevent Marbled Rock from dying in battle, which is obviously the only thing that it's really immune to, affected by at the moment, because we did use the Crystal Heart. So because it's in the extra monster zone and we use Crystal Heart and we have the field spell, the Marbled Rock is completely unaffected by card effects, and it's gaining 600 for each of these, plus 200 attack extra because of the field spell, which of course is giving it 1400 attack, putting it to 39, which is very hard for it to be run over in battle anyway. But from here, obviously, we're just going to end our turn by setting our two trap cards and passing it back. So what you can see here is that we've got the full combo again, ready to go. We've got monsters to get us started on the next turn. What we can do, depending on, we have to obviously wait and see what our opponent is playing. Torrential Tribute is completely free. Marincess Marbled Rock I've made a mistake. Marincess Marbled Rock can be destroyed by Torrential Tribute. It's unaffected by our opponent's card effects. So we potentially hold this one. We can fire it off if we need to. But the other thing we could do is Trap Trick for the Marincess Wave. And we can use this to make it unaffected by, unaffected, but we can use this as a negation. Torrential, though, can still destroy the Marbled Rock, which is a little bit unfortunate. It's very helpful when you read Yu-Gi-Oh cards. That's something that I actually missed on my reading, so I might have to rethink Torrential. Still a good card to play, but I might rethink. I was originally playing over the White Howling. I was playing the Fury of Kairyu-Shin, or the card that searches Torrential Tribute and protects your water monsters from destruction. I simply misread the fact that it's only opponent's card effects that we're unaffected by. So Torrential can still destroy the Marbled Rock. Obviously, if we needed to do it, we would do it, but I might just rethink some ratios a little bit. Test set number 3. Okay, so I'm not going to play this out. This is going to be pretty much the same as what we've just seen. It'll be Signet Mining, discarding Dupe Frog, searching the Blue Tang. This will just be the 1 card combo, so we won't be going through Crystal Heart to get this. I'll play it out just so you can see it, just because I haven't shown it yet. But this is normal summon Blue Tang. Blue Tang sends Seahorse. Now, if you've already opened Seahorse, because it is a 3-of, so it is a decent chance. If you've already opened Seahorse, this is where we send our 1-of Mandarin. The 1 Mandarin is our second send target with Blue Tang. Now we link Blue Tang into the Blue Slug. We get the Blue Slug effect and the Blue Tang effect. We would go chain link 1 Blue Tang, chain link 2 Blue Slug to protect the Blue Tang. So the Blue Slug is going to add back the Seahorse, and the Blue Tang excavates 3, similar to the Salamangreat Foxy, and adds a Marincess card to hand. So we've got Wave here, which is awesome. We add that, these get shuffled in. And from here, we're free to special the Seahorse, link the Seahorse into Sea Angel, and search out for the field spell. At this point, this is where you get pretty much one of your only opportunities to use Mandarin. So hypothetically, if we had already had Seahorse and we sent the Mandarin and we wanted to use it as an extender, because again, if we have the Mandarin, that lets us get into the unaffected link 3. But if we do have that, it's at this point here in the combo where you would need to use it, because Mandarin says, while you control 2 Marincess, if you control 2 or more Marincess monsters while this card's in your hand or graveyard, you can target a water link monster you control. Specials come in this card to your zone that monster points to, but banish it when it leaves the field. So typically the way that the Marincess effects all work is they all use their zones. This is really the only point where you have 2 Marincess monsters plus a free zone. It's one of the only points. There's a couple in the combo, but this is one of the main spots. So if you had it, you would summon the Mandarin here at this point, and then you could make the Wonder Heart, the Crystal Heart, and the Anemone, and go into the unaffected Marble Rock. But obviously in this version we don't have Mandarin, so we don't do that. And simply link these 2 for the Anemone. Anemone brings back whatever, and we link up into Marble Rock. So obviously in this instance, the Marble Rock is not unaffected by anything at the moment. We have to activate this first. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, no, we would activate this still, and use the Marble Rock to attach some materials. The Anemone, when it was sent to graveyard, also activates. Blue Tang is the best one to add back. We can, because we've got 3 plus 1 here. We don't really want to go too crazy with the link monsters. We could probably just add 1. Add 1 to it. And then we can set 3. Oh, we can use the Marbled Rock, sorry. We didn't use that. We can use Marbled Rock to add Seahorse to hand as well. So as you can see, we've got a lot of follow-up again. We're going to set our 3 cards. Now the wave can be activated from the hand. So we have that. Now this is going to be a priority activation. So we're going to use this one. We're going to not necessarily throw it away, but we'd use it pretty early on our opponent's turn, because it's also going to make Marbled Rock unaffected. So at the moment, this Marbled Rock is 800 attack points stronger because of the field spell and the Anemone, putting it to 33. We fire off the wave first. Now that's something you have to be really cautious of with Marincess, is leaving a zone. In this hand, we had Trap Trick, so we need a zone for Trap Trick, but we also need a zone for the Marincess wave to be able to activate. Okay, so we would activate the wave first up, making Marbled Rock then unaffected, and from there we can play out the rest of our trap cards based on what our opponent is doing. Obviously we'd try and use these first before using Trap Trick, and then depending on, again, it all depends on what our opponent is playing, whether we Trap Trick for, and by the time we get to the White Howlings, because we're using it off Trap Trick, by the time we use the Dionysus and the Solemn Strike, the White Howlings are probably not going to be a good card to use, but we can very easily go into Ice Dragon's Prison or Torrential Tribute, or we can go in for another wave, but that would not be very good. Probably just the Ice Dragon's Prison is where we'd go there. But yeah, that's that test hand. I'll just do a couple of other ones. What I might even do is just very quickly show, and this might be the last one, but I'll just quickly rig a hand here using the Blue Tang and the Swap Frog. Now this can be done in its simplest, well, it can be done also with the Blue Slug. That's not Blue Slug, I always get the names mixed up. It's the Seahorse. You can do this with the Seahorse as well, but we'll do it with the Blue Tang. So this would be normal summon Blue Tang, sending the Seahorse. Link the Blue Tang into the Slug. Slug would add back the Seahorse, summon the Seahorse, link it for the Angel. Angel would add the Field Spell. So it all plays out pretty much the exact same way. That's the unfortunate thing here. Now, depending on your hand, you could do this in a different order, but The normal way does it this way. Of course, it's not going to save you from Nibiru. It's not really giving you an extra hand trap protection by having Totally Awesome, but it is giving you another interruption on your opponent's turn. So the enemy will summon one back. Obviously, we didn't use the blue tang effect. You would use it to excavate 3 and add 1 if you can. We didn't use it, but we will an enemy summon back blue tang, link off into an enemy. We can use an not an enemy. What am I doing? Marbled Rock. The anemone that we just linked off will get its effect to add back the blue tang, and Marbled Rock can add a Marincess card to our hand, which will be the Seahorse. From here, we've got 2 waters and a Swap Frog, so we can summon the Swap Frog by discarding a water. Swap Frog can send one of the monsters, and then we can add it back to our hand, and we can special summon it again. Oops. Special summon it again, and this time send the Dupe Frog, which we can then banish to summon back Ronin and overlay for a Toad. Of course, we did this with 1 card, 2 because we had the Swap Frog. So we'd have 3 other cards in our hand at this point, plus the Battle Ocean. So if these were obviously any combination of just trap cards, that would be really good. And we could set a bunch, activate our Battle Ocean. We could do that before the Marbled Rock to obviously give it a little bit more attack points. And yeah, obviously you'd have to work that around. Obviously these cards are not very good, but you'd have to work that around based on how many zones and how many trap cards you have, based on what link monsters. That would help determine what link monsters you put onto the field. But yeah, this is a Marincess deck. That's my take on it. Nothing too crazy, but like I said, I've missed playing control decks, so this is something that I want to give a go in the future soon, and we'll see how it goes. But otherwise, thank you for watching.